Have you ever stopped to think about the air you're breathing? How safe is it really? This question might seem trivial, but the answer is far from it. Every day, we inhale roughly 20,000 litres of air. But how often do we stop to consider what's in it? Most of us are blissfully unaware of the invisible menace that surrounds us, air pollution. It's a silent, unseen threat that we encounter daily, yet it often escapes our attention. Air pollution is a complex concept, composed of a myriad of harmful substances suspended in the air we breathe. These pollutants can be natural, like pollen or volcanic ash, but the majority are human-made. They come from various sources like vehicle exhausts, factory emissions, and even our own homes. This invisible menace lurks everywhere in our cities, our countryside, even inside our houses. It's a pervasive problem, silently invading our lives. And the worst part? Most of us overlook its dangers. We walk through clouds of pollutants, oblivious to their presence, let alone their impact on our health and the environment. Air pollution can cause a host of health issues, from minor irritations like coughs and allergies to serious conditions like asthma, heart disease, and even cancer. It doesn't stop at harming human health either. The environment suffers too. Air pollutants can damage crops, kill wildlife, and disrupt delicate ecosystems. But why should we care? Because air pollution isn't just an environmental issue. It's a public health crisis. It affects everyone, regardless of age, health, or location. It's an invisible enemy that we all face every single day. So the next time you take a deep breath, remember the invisible menace that could be lurking in that air. Remember the silent, unseen threat that could be damaging your health and the world around you. Because air pollution is real, it's everywhere, and it has a profound impact on our lives. But what exactly contributes to air pollution? This silent killer has several sources, both natural and man-made, each playing a role in the degradation of our air quality. Let's start with the natural sources. Mother Nature herself can contribute to air pollution, albeit unintentionally. Volcanic eruptions, for instance, spew out massive amounts of sulfur dioxide and particulate matter into the atmosphere. These substances can linger in the air, creating a haze that can affect air quality on a global scale. Wildfires, another natural cause, release a cocktail of pollutants including carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, and volatile organic compounds. These fires don't just destroy our forests, they also taint the air we breathe. Then there are the man-made sources of air pollution. These are largely a result of our modern lifestyles and industrial processes. Take vehicle emissions, for example. Every time you start your car, it releases a mix of pollutants, including nitrogen oxides and particulate matter. These substances can lead to smog formation, impairing air quality in cities and urban areas. Industrial processes are another significant contributor. Factories and power plants often release pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and even heavy metals into the atmosphere. These emissions can travel long distances, affecting air quality far beyond the factory gates. Lastly, let's not overlook deforestation. When trees are cut down, they can no longer absorb carbon dioxide, a key greenhouse gas. This not only contributes to global warming, but also impacts air quality. Moreover, the act of burning or clearing forests releases stored carbon back into the atmosphere, further exacerbating air pollution. These sources, among others, fill our air with pollutants that can harm us in ways we can't even see. It's critical to understand the diverse sources of air pollution to effectively address this invisible menace. After all, we can't fight what we don't understand. Let's continue to explore this topic in the next scene. So, what happens when these pollutants get into our bodies? When we take a breath, the cocktail of pollutants present in the air we inhale doesn't just vanish. Instead, they journey deep into our lungs, triggering a cascade of harmful effects. Picture this. Each breath we take is like an open invitation to these microscopic invaders. The primary culprits, particulate matter and gases like nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide, can penetrate the deepest parts of our lungs. Once there, they can cause inflammation and damage to lung tissue. The result? Respiratory conditions such as asthma, bronchitis, and even lung cancer. But that's not all. Chronic exposure to polluted air doesn't just affect those with pre-existing respiratory conditions. It can also lead to the development of new ones. Even if you're fit as a fiddle, long-term exposure to air pollution can reduce lung function and capacity. It's like trying to breathe through a straw. Your lungs are working harder but getting less air. And here's the kicker. The effects of air pollution aren't just limited to our lungs. These pollutants can enter our bloodstream, spreading their toxic influence throughout our bodies. From heart disease to strokes, the impact is far-reaching and profound. Remember, these effects aren't due to a sudden, intense exposure. No, they creep in silently, over years of living in polluted environments. It's a long-term relationship that we don't want, but can't seem to break off. So when we talk about air pollution, we're not just discussing an environmental issue. We're talking about a silent invader that enters our bodies with each breath, causing unseen damage that accumulates over time. Our lungs bear the brunt of this silent killer, but they are not the only victims. Our environment, our plants, our animals, they are all victims too. Air pollution doesn't discriminate. It's an unseen assailant that wreaks havoc on all forms of life, disrupting ecosystems and threatening biodiversity. For plants, the very air that they depend on for survival can become a toxic cocktail. Pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and ozone can interfere with photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert sunlight into food. When this process is disrupted, plants can't grow properly. They become weaker, more susceptible to disease, and less productive. This has a knock-on effect for agriculture, potentially affecting food security and livelihoods. Animals are not spared either. They breathe the same polluted air that we do. Birds, for instance, have a highly efficient respiratory system, which, unfortunately, means they are particularly susceptible to air pollution. Studies have shown that air pollution can affect bird populations in several ways, from reduced fertility to impaired lung function and even premature death. Aquatic life is also under threat. Air pollutants can be washed out of the atmosphere by rain, polluting rivers and oceans. This can lead to an overgrowth of toxic algae that depletes oxygen in the water, suffocating fish and other marine life. And then there's the matter of insects. Crucial for pollination, insects are alarmingly sensitive to air pollution. Diminished insect populations can disrupt pollination, threatening plant life and entire ecosystems. The impact on biodiversity is profound. When one species is affected, it can create a cascade of effects through the food chain. This can tip the balance of ecosystems, leading to a loss of biodiversity and potentially causing irreversible damage. It's a grim picture, but it's necessary to understand the full scope of air pollution's impact. It's not just about us, or the plants, or the animals. It's about the complex, interconnected web of life on our planet. It's a ripple effect, and it goes beyond just us humans. Air pollution is more than just an environmental issue. It's a hostile invader, silently infiltrating our bodies and wreaking havoc on our health. It is a public health crisis that we must address with urgency. This is not just a problem for those with respiratory conditions. The World Health Organization estimates that 7 million people worldwide lose their lives every year to diseases linked to air pollution. That's more than the population of Singapore, disappearing off the face of the earth each year due to an entirely preventable cause. Air pollution doesn't discriminate. It affects children playing in schoolyards, office workers rushing to meet deadlines, the elderly taking their morning walks. It's in the air we all breathe, and it's causing health problems ranging from asthma and allergies to heart disease and stroke. And then there are the economic costs. Treating diseases linked to air pollution, loss of productivity due to illness, premature deaths, these all add up. The World Bank estimates that air pollution costs the global economy hundreds of billions of dollars annually. That's a staggering figure, and it's a price we're all paying. But there's good news too. By reducing air pollution, we can also improve our health. Studies have shown that when air pollution levels decrease, so do rates of heart attacks and respiratory diseases. Cleaner air means healthier lives. We need to see air pollution for what it really is: a silent, invisible killer, a public health crisis of epic proportions. It's not just about saving the planet, it's about saving ourselves. We need to take action individually and collectively to reduce air pollution. Our health and the health of future generations depends on it. Because at the end of the day, what good is a clean, green planet if its inhabitants are too sick to enjoy it? Air pollution is a silent, invisible killer, and it's high time we took it seriously.